Hello and welcome to the Stevens Gallery. My name is Clarice Swanson and I am the community member who has the privilege to work with Ted, Professor Forbes, Saleh, Whitman College, and the Stevens Gallery. We want you to enjoy the show today, and I want to give you a little background of what my connection is to the project. Back in 2015, I was in need of a vacation, let's just put it flat out. And I have a cousin who lives in Thailand. So my entire plan was go to Thailand for 3 weeks, sit in their house, and they weren't even home, and just write music for 3 weeks. That was the entire plan. And as I look back on it, it was a good plan. From that, however, other plans evolved, and I ended up crossing the border into Myanmar with them as they do some very serious humanitarian work with the indigenous populations there along the borders of Myanmar, Burma, and Thailand. From that trip, on our first exit out of the country back into Thailand, I sat in a house waiting for another group to arrive, and there was a guitar on the wall. And it looked kind of, old and dusty, but I took a picture of it. And the more I sat there, I realized, oh, it has a broken string. And the more I sat there, because we had a long wait, I thought, oh, it must be hard to get guitar strings out here. And then I thought, I wonder if I could ever bring a guitar string out here. And then I thought, I'm never coming back here. What am I talking about? I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to be in the same jungle road that I'm on right now. That's just not going to happen. But it planted a seed, and it turned out the following year, I actually did go back, and I did go to a high school. It's the kind of high school, new generation school. It's the only school within a 4-day walking area for students. And when I was done teaching there and working there with those students and hanging out with them, I found myself on the same road, and I met my cousin, and she was also exiting the country again. And I told her, yeah, I think I have some people to see. And she's like, you have some people to see? And I said, yeah, I think I have some people to see. So we ended up going down this same road, and sure enough, we knocked on the door of this house, and a young woman came out, and my cousin speaks the local language, so she asked her, politely, do you have a guitar in the back? Is it broken? Can we see it? And with a very obviously, understandably puzzled look on the girl's face, she's like, okay. And so she goes and gets the guitar, and sure enough, it needed a guitar string. And so in my pocket, I had some guitar strings. I gave it to her. She fixed the guitar. It worked. And she's smiling, and we bought some soda and some crackers from her shop, and we left. And my cousin's like, they're going to be talking about that for a long time, that random people just came and did this. And it did feel very much like the most remote random act of kindness I think I've ever done in my life. And it kind of inspired me to wonder, I wonder what else is going on in refugee camps for musicians. So I had some extra time while I was there that year, and I found a way to access and be invited into the Meadowlark refugee camp along the Thai border. And before I went, I brought also a little box of art supplies, because I knew, well, if there's musicians in these camps that are probably lacking some guitar strings or supplies, maybe there's artists there who are lacking the same thing. And it was such a natural connection, I thought, let's just do that. So I brought in this little box of watercolors, brushes, paint, some paper. And one evening I just said, hey, I'm going to paint tonight. Would anyone like to join in this activity? And out of the woodworks come a bunch of students, and then a number of orphan children, and Saleh. And his first paintbrush onto the paper, I just knew instantly, oh, this is a legit artist. Here's a professional artist. And I just knew that would happen because sadly, in a population of a refugee camp with thousands and thousands and thousands of people, there are also going to be professional artists and musicians there. And so over the course of several years, we've built a relationship enough to have his art come to America and have his art help tell his story. The stories of refugees are so important, and they need a voice. And through music and art, I hope that some of those voices can be heard. And that is why I started my nonprofit Meadowlark Voices, to support artists and musicians in refugee camps and cultures at risk. And so we hope that you enjoy this show today, and I'm so proud of Tet for her courage to tell part of her story. I hope that both of their stories inspire you to look for ways to have hope and renewal in your life, and that this art show might help you give some strength and peace in your life as well. If you have any questions, please reach me through Meadowlark Voices. Enjoy the show, and please support artists and musicians in refugee camps around the world. Thank you. Have a nice day.